Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another Walking Dead comic book character video. This one will be a little unique, as today we are doing a character that is both in the comic book series and the Telltale game series. That character is Shawn Greene. So my rule for this is, because Shawn first appeared in the comics, I will be covering him in my comic book character video. But not to worry, I won't leave out his Telltale game appearance. So Shawn is of course male. He is played by Peter Edward Mussard in the Telltale games. He is mid-20s and first appeared in issue 11. Before the outbreak, Shawn grew up on Herschel's farm. He was the oldest son of Herschel and was born alongside his many siblings. Here goes those siblings. They were Maggie, Billy, Lacey, Arnold, Susie, and Rachel. He worked as a farmhand on his father's farm, but was a reluctant person when it came to doing work. Sometime before the outbreak, his mother sadly passed away, and in the weeks before the outbreak, Shawn's father had repeatedly asked him to take the leftover wood to the dump, but Shawn never did, something he was thankful for as it helped him fortify the fence. When the outbreak began, Shawn was in the city and saw a cop shooting a kid point blank in the face. At some point, he found Kenny and his family and brought them to his father's farm. He went out on a scouting mission with his friend Chet and maybe Andre Mitchell. It's unclear if Shawn met Andre on the mission, as he only appears in the nighttime option. But anyway, this is where the player determined factor comes in, and as such it's unclear what can be considered canon, so I'll talk about both. In Telltale Season 1, if the player decides to leave Clementine's house in the day, Shawn is first seen alongside Chet. Shawn mistakes Clementine for Lee's daughter, and the player decides on the explanation. As they chat about the state of things, walkers approach and Lee, Shawn and Chet clear the road, get in the truck and drive on out of there. If the player decides to leave at night instead, Shawn appears with Officer Andre Mitchell, who may have met on this little scouting mission with Chet earlier. Earlier, he had seen Chet getting bitten by a walker, but now cannot find him. Lee approaches, and Mitchell mistakes him for a walker. We get the daughter mistake thing again, and then Shawn asks Lee if he's seen Chet. They chat a little, and then Chet as a zombie approaches, causing the four people to flee in Andre's police car. Either option leads to Lee and Clementine coming to Herschel's farm at night with Shawn. Andre drives off, or Chet drives off, depending on which option you chose, and Shawn says goodbye to either one. Shawn then introduces Lee to Herschel. Herschel offers to patch up Lee's leg and asks Shawn to check on his sisters. Which sisters? Who knows? We don't actually see any of them in the game. Shawn comes back out a little later, telling his father that they should fortify the fence, and depending on if Chet is alive or dead, he's either for or against it. Either way though, he allows Shawn to do it. In the morning, Shawn walks up to Lee and Kenny, telling them that they need to get that fence up and going. Duck wants to play on the tractor and Shawn lets him. Later, Lee walks up to Shawn and helps him cut some wood beams. Shawn talks about his time in the city and Lee can have a determined conversation with Shawn. Shawn then tells Lee his father wants to talk to him or has a job for him to do, and Lee heads off. But at some point, some zombies got close and Duck accidentally runs over Shawn's foot. We hear his scream and Lee comes rushing over just as Duck is grabbed by some zombies. And the player can either try to save Shawn or Duck. But whatever happens, it doesn't really matter as Shawn dies anyway. The zombies break through the fence and this happens to Shawn. Killed by a zombie biting his neck. Herschel kills the zombies and cradles his dead son, causing him to banish Kenny, his family, Lee and Clementine. Herschel was unable to kill Shawn, so instead he let him turn, and when he turned he started attacking his family, so Herschel placed him in the same barn that Lee had previously slept in. Shawn was joined by some more zombies as Herschel began to put more zombies in there that he found of his friends and neighbours. In Volume 2, after Rick finds Herschel is keeping zombies in the barn, Herschel goes to put a new one in there when he is knocked to the ground by a zombie. Walker Shawn begins to leave the barn, and as his brother Arnold tries to help his father, Shawn comes behind his brother and bites him on the neck. Herschel pleads with his zombie son before finally he puts a bullet in Shawn Greene's head. R.I.P. Later, Shawn is buried on the farm alongside his brother Arnold, who he obviously killed, and his sister Lacey, who was also killed during the barn walker attack thingy. Shawn was not a major character in the comics, just a reason as to why Herschel placed zombies in the barn. He was Herschel's son after all, so of course he couldn't have killed him. In the comics, he's only there to set up Herschel's mindset and to kill off his brother Arnold, but it was so cool to see Shawn in the Telltale game. We finally got a sense of who this guy was, how he acted, and also how he died. And although I knew it was coming, and I thought, oh god, he's gonna die, I can see this coming, it was still a shocking death nonetheless. Let me know your thoughts on Shawn, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.